Hey everyone, how's it going? Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever one it is. My name is, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Jord. This is the Winning Side podcast, Wicked Edition. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I really enjoy talking about shows and films, but sometimes when you have a guest, you can't always, because they're not always on the same level, you can't always have the conversation you want to have. So I thought to myself, I was like, do you know what? I love Ariana and I've never actually seen Wicked. So obviously do not fact check me if I get things wrong. A lot of this may be purely based on interpretation, but obviously we are in early December. And hopefully, if God is good, this will be out in early December. And so recently the film adaptation of Wicked got released into cinemas. Obviously, very highly anticipated, has been for quite a long time. Obviously, there's been quite a few delays because of lockdown and all the other complications in between and yada yada with Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Jonathan Bailey, etc. etc. And yeah, I want to try and give my spin on it. But like I said, I am not a crazy diehard musical theatre person or someone who's knows the ins and outs of Wicked and the Wizard of Oz. So if I get this wrong, do not quote me or fact check me. This is just me trying to spice things up. But where do I start? I mean, I feel like when it comes to adaptions of really highly recognized musicals, there's always a bit of fear and reluctancy. Because Wicked is so well known and so recognized and so highly respected that it kind of puts a lot of pressure on the people in the cast and behind the scenes to make this film really top notch. Do you know what I mean? Because I've seen it before where films don't match the musical and it's a bit especially when it has the potential to have been really good. I think Cats is probably the best example I've ever seen of that. Cats was just Cats wasn't cute. But then you have other films where it's worked really, really well, like Mamma Mia, Les Mis, so it can be very hit and miss. And I think that was the fear when it got announced that Wicked was going to be turned into a film, especially to a film with two parts as well. Because I've never seen the show. I'm only going by all the research I've done over the last few weeks. I believe the actual show itself on Broadway is 2.5 hours, and the film is just under 3. So it's thinking, okay, what do we do to space it out then for it to not seem too long, or for it to not seem, and for it to actually seem no parts are what's the word? Just there for the sake of it and don't actually have any substance. Do you know what I mean? So, but like I said, I'm basing this on the fact that I have never seen the musical. So, and it's quite interesting because there's so many things that I'm like, oh my God, did that happen? Did that really happen? Or was that meant to happen? And then you go onto TikTok, and they'll be like, oh, just wait till you see what happens in part 2. Because I have no idea what happens in the following part. Spoiler alert. The only thing I know is about the sister getting hit by a house or something. The sister in the wheelchair, Nessa. That's all I know. But other than that, minimal knowledge. But yeah, I want to go through it. So I want to talk about what I liked about it, what I personally wasn't too keen on, and what I'm excited to see, and just the reception and all of that. So let's keep it fun and cute and sweet and juicy and bouncy. Let's start from the very beginning. I just think, first off, I'm so impressed by the fact that they are singing live, which sounds kind of weird because obviously in the theatre they would have had to have done that, right? But I remember watching this interview with Ariana and Cynthia, and they were basically saying to give creds and respect to the actors that have to go on stage 5-6 times a week and sing to the top of their lungs. It doesn't make sense for us to not sing live in the show. In the film even, sorry. And I thought, you know what, creds to you, because there's so many, and I see this a lot now as I'm getting older, there are so many films I've watched where people are singing in a musical, and because I'm obviously because I'm a podcast, maybe I see it more, but I can see where it's out of sync, and they're exaggerating how high their mouth should be opened or how their pitch should sound. It just doesn't match up, and I can tell it really well. Let me not go for the films that I know that have done it really obviously, but there's a lot. There's a lot, and even in the beginning, the beginning scene with Ariana where she's singing "No One Mourns the Wicked." Like her voice is absolutely like astounding. It's absolutely incredible, and I loved that first scene. And the first scene didn't make a crazy amount of sense to me until I watched the end. And obviously, Ariana is mourning Elphaba, you know, and she's even like her subtle facial expressions when everyone's cheering on. You can see her like her sadness, you know, because that's her bestie, that's her best mate, you know. And I think she was very good at subtly conveying her emotions, you know. I have to say though, to be honest, I'm very, and I love her. This is obviously, I love Cynthia so much, but Ariana Grande is my favorite singer. I absolutely adore her. And I'm really surprised and proud of Ariana because I think Ariana, right, the only acting credibility Ariana is really associated with apart from Wicked is Victorious, right? Like, and I think because because obviously she was just playing like a dopey teenager and it was so long ago. I think a lot of people were a bit umming and ahhing about whether Ariana actually deserved this role. But anyone who has followed Ariana for X amount of years should be very aware that she is a Wicked stan to the core, you know? She has gone on countlessly for years about how she has always wanted to play Glinda and it's her dream role. And I'll be honest, as an Ariana fan, I was actually really nervous. Like I thought, is she actually going to be able to like top this off? But like she's so good. She's a very good actress. She's very good at like, because Glinda's not a likable character, is she? Let's be honest. Well, no, she shouldn't be, but she is. You know, she's a bit of a sweetheart. And I find that Ariana's very good at like making comedic moments. And I think playing into that like ditzy blonde character, I think she's very good at it. Because yeah, like I said, people were very hesitant to see whether she can perform to the ability, because obviously she's such a massive star as a singer. I think a lot of people thought, oh well, this is purely just because of her status as an artist, but she actually is an incredible actress, you know. So hats off to her. Also Cynthia as well. I adore Cynthia, and I tell you one thing actually, which I really loved and I really respect. I'm really happy that they've both got musical theatre backgrounds, because Cynthia hasn't done. I would say this is Cynthia's probably like, this would be her breakthrough role. Like she's done other like bits and bobs. I remember seeing her in Chewing Gum like X amount of years ago when she played Michaela Cole's sister's bridesmaid. Yeah, I'm going to try and find a picture. Michaela Cole's sister's bridesmaid. The sister was actually called Cynthia as well, which is quite funny. But yeah, they both have very... Well, yeah, they both have experiences in Broadway. And I don't think many people know that about Ariana. Ariana actually started her career as a teenager on Broadway, you know? And I think it was because there's obviously, I know it's a musical, but there's such a demand for such a high level of like singing. I don't think it would have made sense to have had people who didn't have that musical theatre background, you know? So I'm really glad that when the casting director chose these two. I don't think two people would have been more perfect for the role. And I'm really proud of Cynthia. I think her voice is absolutely incredible. Do you know what? Yeah, I love that Cynthia. I actually this is off topic. I actually love her nails. I don't get how you can do anything with them because they're literally like I've got big hands, yeah, but like 3 times the size of my hands. Okay, so what I want to talk about what I liked about it in particular. If I'm being completely honest, I really loved. I really love that Elphaba is a black woman. You know, I think Elphaba's character is very. Her narrative is very heavily focused on being an outsider and not feeling that they belong anywhere. And when I say that, I don't want to have that link with black women. However, I think because of the way the world can sometimes be structured, life can be hard for black women, you know? And I don't want this to be focusing on like the oppression or like like a sad story, because we want to, at the same time, we want to use this as a way to praise Cynthia's work. But I'm really glad that a black woman has the lead. I'll be completely honest. I think it's like an historical monument, to have someone in that position. And I think Cynthia is so well suited to the role, and I think she killed it, you know. And for someone who hasn't had like a crazy amount of experience in film, I thought she killed it. Her acting is like spectacular, and it's so natural, and it doesn't feel like, not that Ariana's feels forced, but we all know how much Ariana wanted this role, and I think it not that it doesn't come natural to Ariana, because she is a natural talent, but I just feel like with Cynthia it just flows so smoothly, and that's no way to attack Ariana. I'm just saying I just think I think it comes across more apparent that Ariana really, really wants to do this, even though I know that Cynthia really wants to do this. I don't know. I just think she is naturally more accustomed to the role, even though Ariana was made to be. Let me stop talking. I'm also really enjoying how like queer coded it is. Like, there's so many like little like indicators. I'm like, ooh, okay. Like with Jonathan Bailey playing Ferrero, and the way that he just like flirts with everyone, like literally anyone in sight, which I'm completely here for. They made Jonathan Bailey look really young. Like really, really young. Because I actually didn't realise it was him, which may be a bit silly, but I did watch it very early in the morning. And I remember thinking, I was like, so when's Jonathan Bailey rocking up then? Is this in part 2? But like Jonathan Bailey, yeah. How can a man be so fine? Like, how can a man be so motherfucking fine? I was literally staring, and I thought, these actors, yeah, they've got more strength than me. Because let me not say what I would do, but big up Jonathan Bailey. What else did I love? But yeah, I mean, as someone who hasn't watched the film before, I'm very like happy with the way that it went, like the way that it like was played out. Because I honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't realize it was going to be as long as it was, and it didn't feel like it was just under 3 hours. There weren't like, I can't think of many parts where I thought, oh, this is dragging, like this is really a drag. Do you know what I mean? Like I actually wanted more. I would have watched it for even longer, and I think that just is cred to the team for being able to create such a beautiful body of work. My favorite scene in the film is the Ozdust ballroom scene. I really enjoy, and I think this is when Glinda somewhat transitions. She gave Elphaba that hat to mock her, basically, to take the pee out of her, and I think when Glinda is quite clearly being mocked, when Elphaba is being mocked, Glinda switches up and comes to the realization she's actually not a threat, she's not a competition, because that's the same night when Madame Morrible actually says to Glinda, like, I will take you on as a student, and then she literally says to Glinda, like, I have no faith in you, basically. I'm only doing it because Elphaba basically said she would opt out if she doesn't let Glinda be taught as well. And I just think that shows how Elphaba is so pure and so selfless. For someone who doesn't have a lot and has no reason to be a nice person, she's a very, very generous, kind, considerate person, And I think at that point, Glinda becomes aware that Elphaba isn't a threat. She's actually a friend. And when Elphaba is center stage being laughed at, and Glinda goes over to approach her, and her friends say, what are you doing, stop, and Glinda says no, and then starts dancing with her, you can see Elphaba's emotion, because she hasn't had a friend before, she hasn't had someone who will walk alongside her, and I think that meant so much to her. And the subtle choreography and the synchrony was so beautifully directed, and I just thought the scene was so powerful, and it just shows the significance of friendship, especially how important friendship is to Elphaba, and the start of a really important friendship blossoming. The scene was beautiful, and then I loved it after when we jumped into the popular scene, because I believe afterwards that's when she's I believe everyone, because everyone joins in, don't they? Everyone starts like rustling up and everyone's like dancing alongside them, following the little moves they've been making. And then at that point, it's only up for the pair of them, you know. They're right as rain. They're a real like double act. And then so, like I said, because obviously I'm not somebody who was familiar with, I'm gonna stop saying this after, because I'm not someone who was familiar with the show. Then afterwards, when we see Elphaba trying to show Glinda how to move like her and behave like her, and then with the popular song, because I didn't, maybe I'm going to get cancelled. I didn't actually know the popular song was was from Wicked. I'll be honest, because I genuinely thought it was from Ariana's album, Yours Truly. But hey, we live and we learn. I have so many questions, yeah. Like, and obviously, like, it's one of those things where like, I actually know that if I wanted to find out, I could just like Google it. Does Elphaba end up with Pharaoh? Does the Munchkin? Does Buck actually stay with Nessa? I mean, I know Nessa gets hit by a house, to be fair, but I have so many questions. I'm assuming like Oz is Elphaba's dad, because I actually noticed, because I watched Wicked again yesterday and I saw how like when he comes in, when whoever got with Elphaba's mum jumps into the house, you don't actually see his face. So that was quite clever. And I thought, oh, okay, is Oz Elphaba's dad? I'm going to assume so. I also I really, really, really loved I loved the final scene, the Defying Gravity scene. I think that's like the one song that like every Tom, Dick and Harry? Yeah, every Tom, Dick and Harry knows, you know. It's so iconic. And do you know what? I actually know a lot about Wicked from Glee. Is that bad? Like, Glee has been like the blueprint for a lot of my Wicked knowledge. It's really funny because a lot of people online were like, "Oh, Lee Michelle would have made like a really good Elphaba or Glinda," but the thing is, Lee Michelle can't read, so like, how's that going to work? Respectfully. Yeah, I love the Defying Gravity scene, but like, oh my god, like literally, you know, the bit where like, so like there, because I can't figure out, was Glinda going to go with her or not, because it looked like she wasn't going to, and then the people started like running up to her and then they pull her off. Elphaba still seems to manage to run away, and the bit where like she runs through the glass and she's falling, I thought, yo, she's gone, she's actually like 6 feet under. I was like, oh my god, what a tragic way for this film to end. And then she goes shooting up and I'm like, right, okay, cool. But I think, and do you know what I love about Elphaba? Yeah, I love about her kind soul and how much she cares for people, because I believe, well, the bear basically raised her, didn't they? And I think that's why she has such a warmth and a gentle touch towards the animals, because and that's why she was so adamant to meet Oz, to be like, well, we need to like tackle this. Like, what's the issue? Only to realize that he and Madam What's Her Face were the ones behind it. But yeah, no, I thought the scene was iconic, and I just think Cynthia literally sings to the top of her lungs. Like, I genuinely got goosebumps. I thought, oh my god, this is like so powerful, you know. But yeah, and I really hope she gets her flowers for this. I really hope this is like the gateway for a lot of other opportunities, career opportunities, because, and I think, and do you know, I'm also really glad, despite the musical theatre experience and background, it's kind of nice for it to be someone who is obviously like famous and well known, especially in the West End, but someone who has the opportunity to like become bigger, like a lot bigger, you know, being someone who's allowed this space to be able to really flourish. Because obviously Ariana, this can do bits for her career as well. Ariana is a star, but Ariana is incredibly famous already, like an excessive level of fame, you know. Okay, granted, this could allow her to be more respected in the acting scene in space, but obviously for music, my girl's already dominated it, you know, well and truly. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some things that I wasn't too keen on. To be honest, and please call me out if I've got this wrong, but like, I found that like the lighting wasn't that good. Like, I just thought, okay, maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm being a bit slow, but I just thought, is it actually quite dark? And like the film is like quite high budget, so I thought money's not a problem. So am I getting lost somewhere in the middle? I remember like squinting, thinking, why is it so dark? And I know the director, John M. Chu, said about how it was like for the aesthetic, but like Oz is known and recognized as quite a bright and colorful place. So surely, if anything, you would be making the lighting excessive to match the bright and colourful place, you know. So like that really confused me, and I remember, and like the only time where I can recall seeing like really bright abstract colours is the bit were popular with the excessive pink when Ariana's running around and there's like pink shadows in the pink background, but like for the most part, the lighting isn't good, you know, and it just didn't really. I don't know, it just didn't really make sense to me. Maybe there's something that I'm missing that I haven't picked up on. And like, creds where due. If I've missed something, please call me out. Like, I'm open to mistakes. You know, I'm not crazy. But yeah, maybe I missed something. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, and I want to talk about. This isn't really about the film. This is more about the reception. I think it's really important to remember that even though Ariana is very talented and deserves all the success and all the condolences and all the flowers, she's not the main character. Galinda's not the main character, you know? Cynthia's the main character. And I feel like, and I was getting really frustrated when I was seeing a lot of responses from the press interviews and from the premieres. I recall after the premiere happened in London on the Monday night, the following morning, so many of the front page papers had pictures just of Ariana. And these pictures would have been pictures that Cynthia was in, but has quite clearly been cut in half to just show Ariana. And listen, I love Ariana Grande so much. This is not hating on Ariana, but it doesn't make sense to me why you wouldn't be displaying and showing the main character or both of them as a pair, as a duo. I will be completely honest when I say this. I do think that the response to some of the reactions of Wicked when it comes to promotion and press is centered around white supremacy. I think that despite Ariana being respectably a lot more famous, Cynthia is the main character, you know? And if I'm being completely honest, I think Cynthia does a better job. And that's not to say that Ariana does a bad job at all. I think Ariana did really, really well. Like, I'm not taking that away from her at all. But if someone said to me, who do you think performed better? I would say Cynthia Erivo, easily, you know? So I'm struggling to understand for any other reason why, when it comes to all of these papers and headlines and articles, the pictures are only of Ariana. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. And maybe I've missed something. Maybe there's something that I haven't picked up on, that my research hasn't really reached that far. And I'll put my hands up if I need to do so. But for me, I'm just thinking the main character is played by a black woman. So why is everything focused on the respectfully talented white woman who's a co-star? It doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I've missed something. But I think Cynthia's performance was incredible, completely immaculate. I think there was no one who would do the role better than her. I think she deserves all the success. I really hope this paves the way. I hope this paves the way for her and her career. I hope this paves the way for more black representation, black main roles, black queer main roles. You know, I think for so long with representation in the media and the press and just in general, black characters, black people tend to be co-stars, and I think as black people, as black people, Cynthia being a main character, being the main role, is a win for all of us. A win for one black person is a win for all black people, you know. And for for years to come, when we got to see a black woman be the main character, is just absolutely incredible. I would have never have imagined this X amount of years ago. You know, I'm on the right side of history. I'm living on the right side of history, and I'm really glad that Cynthia's the person to take the first leap into history, into legacy, you know? So I have stopped this quite a lot so I can like get names and stuff right. But yeah, I think the film was incredible. I'm so excited for part two. I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen. Like literally none. So stay tuned for part two. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I hope it made sense. I really hope it made sense. I feel like there are some parts which didn't make sense, but that's okay because it's interpretation. At the end of the day, it's interpretation. Yeah, my name is Jord Hellwood. This is the Winning Side Podcast Wicked Edition. If you like what you see, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. And yeah, I'm grateful to do this. I'm grateful to be here. And I will see you next week. Bye. Sorry, can I just say, I've actually just forgotten something which I really loved, and I think I actually, no lie at all, I actually packed up, went to leave, and thought, crap, I need to mention this, otherwise I'm never going to forgive myself. One thing that I really loved that I forgot to mention, one thing that I really loved is the little snippet scene with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. You know, I thought that was so significant and so monumental because these two women are the goats of Wicked. And I think to be in a position where the team were able to get them to have a little cameo was just so significant and so subtle and so important. But yeah, I completely forgot about that. And I don't know where I'm going to add this in. Oh, not even play it. The camera's not even... do you know what? The mic's not even on. Never mind. We'll leave it at that. Okay. Right. Bye.